Oh my God. Hi.
How you doing?
Welcome back.
What's up?
We were
Chilling.
just talking about the Mr. Girl getting banned from the subreddit, and I guess you said you wanted to talk about it to some degree, so here we are.
Oh, just if people are talking about it, I can always hop in and give my perspective on things. Might be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Just curiosity, did you think that anything that I said was wrong? I don't know what you all heard.
How,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah. How
listened.
long have you been listening?
Yeah, I've only been listening for like 2 minutes, and I haven't heard Sansal's video yet, so I'm not even up to date on things. I just offered if people were gonna argue about moderation styles and stuff, I could, I have a little bit of insight into how the Destiny subreddit is moderated. So
Okay.
Sure. Um,
Did you hear what I said?
no, let's pretend I haven't heard anything. What do we got? Give me Let's start with grievances.
um,
Uh, you want to go first, Elder, or?
yeah, I'll go first. Um, I think that the most legitimate point of contention, which I think that, if I'm not mistaken, you might have not necessarily disagreed with, but I don't know how well it was addressed, is that in order for Mr. Girl to grow, basically his argument, in order for him to grow, there has to be people that have conversations about what he talks about, and you guys have an enormous overlap in fans, so that it does make sense that a lot of these conversations would happen on your subreddit. And if let's say if you guys had a conversation and I wanted to talk to somebody about it, if I talk about it on Mr. Girl's subreddit, considering how small it is, it's going to be a bunch of people that strictly will only take his side like 99% of the time. But if I want to have an interesting and nuanced conversation with somebody about how that conversation went down, your subreddit would absolutely be the first place that I would think of that I could achieve that. Because otherwise, like, I don't need to hear people tell me why I'm right about my take on it. I want to get a better understanding of this conversation. I want to be able to press my points and have them tested against other people that have like well thought out, clear arguments against it. Not necessarily trying to fight with anybody, but this would be the right place to go. And if you're getting banned for just being a Mr. Girl fan, which is what Forethought had said, that seems like it's going to harm Mr. Girl's career pretty bad. But then also, too, when you say that people are getting banned, or that Mr. Girl got banned because it's like astroturfing, Forethought saying he bans people for being Mr. Girl fans really, really hurts the credibility of that statement when that statement gets made after he says, yeah, I'll just ban people for being a Mr. Girl fan, or just because fuck them. So it just
Sure.
makes
So
it hard
let's
to
take
believe.
for one thing at a time. So for the first thing you said, can you make me care from my perspective about that?
No, and I'm not even saying that there is no right to do these things. This is
Well,
just
hold on. If you're complaining here, I imagine
yeah.
you think that a wrong has been committed, which means you think there's a right or wrong answer about how things ought to be moderated. So I'm just curious for the first part. Can you make me care about that perspective from my point of view? Why would I
Um,
care if somebody else needs to have positive conversations on my subreddit? Why would that be a thing that I'm like bought into or invested in?
Well, to be fair, I don't know if anybody can ever make you care about anything, like just
Well,
based
hold
on.
on. Isn't that kind of isn't
But
that pretty important? Because it's my subreddit. Isn't that like a pretty big deal?
sure, but sure, yeah. I think that if you wanted your fans to have a better understanding about something that happened between you and Max, I think that having a conversation in your subreddit about it would be really good for you. This would help your community engage
Yeah, but
in
that's
what
a
just happened.
fundamentally different type of thing than like it's important for his fans to have a place to discuss things so that he can grow as a content creator. That's a fundamentally different argument than
Right.
like, well,
I
because my
agree,
fans
but
can
you said,
post
why
and
should you care?
discuss whatever they want. Well, my fans
This
can
is
already do
my
that though. There's no rule prohibiting them from posting about stuff and talking about stuff.
Well, if your fans, which are also Max's fans, want to do that in your subreddit, they're going to get labeled as his fans, and then they're going to get kicked the fuck out. Because if they're on
Yeah,
his side
was
in a
that was
certain
my initial
interaction,
problem.
if they're on his side in a certain interaction, they'll go, oh, that's a Mr. Girl fan, get him the fuck out of here. Do you see what I'm saying? So that seems
I
like that
think
would be
that
bad
right
for
now
you.
the issue. I think that right now the issue that people come from his subreddit, and I agree that stuff got a little bit more complicated. But like, if anybody else was making an argument like this, like say like Sargon of Akkad or Lawrence Southern or Nick Fuentes are making an argument like, well, my fans should be able to go to your subreddit and have discussions about our content there because it's good for us to be able to talk. And like, would you ever accept this answer?
Can I just say my problem? The only
Wait,
reason why.
before you say anything, I want to answer that question, and then you can say what you want to
Okay.
say. If
Can,
Nick Fuentes, Lauren Southern, or Sargon of Akkad were to come into my subreddit and say, "Hey, we ought to be able to have our fans coming here and having these conversations in your sub because it's good for our stuff and everything," would you accept that answer? So yeah, you ought to. You have a right to that.
No, but for two reasons. One of those reasons is that I don't think that what they're bringing to the table in their interactions with you are anywhere near the same kind of like overlap, and like we're not seeing the same overlap in fan bases, but also like it's not going to be the same kind of thing that's happening. Usually when it's somebody like Nick Fuentes or Lawrence Southern, there's a lot of good reasons why that you might feel uncomfortable platforming those conversations on your subreddit. It can
You don't think I
bring,
could feel similarly about like some of Max's stuff?
maybe, yeah, sure. If it's some of Max's stuff, I get that. You go like, you know what? We're not going to talk about cuties here. We're not going to have the pedophile conversation here. That's
No,
fine.
that's not at
And
all
if-
what my problems are related to Max. My problems really, I don't even have problems related to Max, but for some of his fans, there's definitely some like sycophantish behavior that goes on.
I
And,
don't disagree at all.
Okay, but that's like a little scary to me. I don't know very many like Lawrence Southern sycophants, maybe Fuentes sycophants, but it's easy to pick them out and say, like, oh, that's wrong. But like the level of like apologia, I wish I would have saved posts. But like the level of apologia and like the mind games that I feel like some of the Mr. Girl fans play is a little bit scary sometimes. I think it's a little bit of a different thing. But nonetheless, I mean, I could perceive all of it as being like content that like, oh, I don't really want this on my subreddit.
Yeah, if that's the case, if you just say, if you come out and say, I don't want Mr. Girl fans on my subreddit because these are the kinds of arguments that are being made, like that is 1000% within your right. The problem is that the reason that was given, like when Mr. Girl got banned and like there's like sort of like a purge of his fans happening, and then prior we had the reason being given by the head moderator was, I don't like Mr. Girl fans, so fucking I just ban them.
Okay, let's have two conversations, pre and post the war, because the war declaring the war on the subreddit kind of changed the engagement a little bit, right?
Yeah, then I have a really important question for you about like the war. Did
Sure.
you take the war to be like a serious, like, oh my god, like something bad's going to happen to us, or was it like kind of like a silly way to say like, hey, I have some issues here and I'm gonna spend a lot of time focusing on addressing them and trying to work this out? How did you interpret that?
It's not really how I interpret it. It's how I think fans and people are going to engage with the platform are going to interpret it. That's kind of my worry. And I feel
Okay.
like people interpret it a little bit like we're going to go spam the sub and like have like huge problems and stuff with how it's moderated. And it feels like a little bit presumptuous, I'd say, that like somebody should be able to go into somebody else's community and make like pretty big demands on how it's moderated or whatever. It seems kind of strange.
Did that actually happen? Was there like a
Well, Max
market?
literally told me that the way that I moderate is incorrect and that
Well,
I'm
no, I understand that that's what Max said, but was there like a market increase of Mr. Girl fans going in there spamming posts? Oh, forethought is this and that, and I don't like the way the sub is being moderated. Did that actually happen? Because when he said that he's declaring a war, I didn't really take it to mean anything at all. I thought he was just saying.
Well, you can take it not to mean anything, but yes, there were definitely fans that jumped in and started posting more. I think that's what was triggering forethought the most.
Okay. I don't do research, so I wouldn't know if that's true. I'll just take your word for it.
Okay.
I guess so. I'm a pretty big Mr. Girl fan. I just assume that you may not remember the conversation we had. The last time I talked to you was just about Mr. Girl, and I know that he has an extensive history of always saying, "I never want you to brigade anybody. I never want you to go after anybody in my defense." Even when he talked about the war and he posted like Sun Tzu's Art of War, I put a thing under. I put a quote from it under there because I thought it was funny. I just thought it was just like a lighthearted thing that was like sort of being played up for like, you know, just like the like goofy, fun, silly kind of drama. I understand that some people might think of it that way, but if you're a big enough a fan of his to like be posting regularly about his stuff, I can't imagine that you would take that any other way than him, you know, adding his little dramatic flair. This is
Here's,
so, but it's okay to think. I was just curious what you thought and how you were coming at this approach. And if people really were spamming and going hard as fuck in the subreddit, I'd say ban those people. That's a great way to ban the problematic Mr. Girl fans. Saying like you're doing a bad behavior right now, get the fuck out of here.
this is my issue. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We back up on a very, very, very macro level. Okay. My subreddit is my community that I want to look a certain way. I want it to reflect my values, and I want the community to look a way that I want my community to look, and I want it to be my community. It's not like a community. It's not a community for communities of people. It's my community.
Sure. I understand.
Why would I want to, like, very specifically and pointedly moderate my community in a way that is bending to kind of like positively represent somebody else in a way that might be detrimental to how I want things run? What is the motivation there for me? Why would I ever do that?
I don't necessarily know
can I
if you
just-
should, but I also think that like I've watched you for probably 6 years, and I guess that I would have imagined that that would have like I don't know if you feel that that's how it's going, then 100% I'd just
Well,
say
that
do
was what
it.
the request was Max is saying that I'm like basically pimping out all of my orbiters, and then as soon as I don't like them, I rate them and throw them on, or
Oh.
whatever he said. What did he say that we're like?
Okay, I think we're talking
I
about
think
two
he.
different things then.
Well, no,
You
no,
and
no,
I.
no, 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 no. Wait, hold on. He said that streamers are like my prostitutes, and I'm their pimp.
That's not what
And
we're talking
Orbiters,
about. Though.
right?
We weren't talking
Orbiters.
about that.
orbiters, yeah. And then when I've used them up, I throw them away, and I let my subreddit shit on them, and blah 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 blah. So it seems like pretty specifically, he's like he wants me to dramatically change the way that my subreddit is moderated such that, and even Lab was saying that conversation, protect me, protect me, protect me. Why don't you protect me from the community? Protect me. I didn't even protect Melina from my community. Like, I don't, yeah, like, that's just not how I run my sub.
We
Yeah.
weren't talking about that before you came in, so
I do think
can't
that.
really.
Well, it all kind of goes,
Sorry,
I think it
Benny.
all is kind of the same kind of thing, but yeah, go ahead.
So I was just talking about the subreddit in general. I do think that, like, let's be real here. I think that a lot of things that have been said in the last like couple weeks, and maybe for a little bit longer, I think that they're going to be expressed, especially emotional and a little bit exaggerated. But I do think that I do think that he believes some of the core points that you just said there. But I think that they may not have been said in the same compassionate way that we'd normally expect them to, because I don't really think that that's how you behave. I do think that sometimes the end results very much feel that way to some orbiters. And that would have been a much better way to approach it, and there probably could have been a better conversation like that. But I just think that that's just how it's going to be said for a little bit. There's just been a
I'll
lot of
say-
bad happening. But I guess with the subreddit thing, I'm sorry, Benny, I'll shut the fuck up in like 2 seconds. With the subreddit thing, everything that I've ever seen of you has always been like, I encourage open discourse. If people want to criticize me, they criticize me, like, and all this. So like, I understand if that's not what you want in your subreddit, like, more power to you. Like, I honor that. Like, I respect it. That makes sense to me. But that's just not been any of the reasons that I've heard. The reasons that I've heard have been that Forethought just bans people because fuck them, they're Mr. Girl fans, call them dog fuckers and shit. So like clearly showing a huge dislike for them. And then after somebody else brings up like the astroturfing thing in the subreddit, now all of a sudden this position's been adopted and we're seeing a lot of like
Okay,
different
wait. So what do
behavior.
you think? Why do you think Forethought didn't like Mr. Girl fans? What is like the best faith engagement you've got with that?
He's a bitch ass nigga.
Okay, true, but
It seems like he's annoyed by them. That would be my best interpretation.
okay,
which is
why? Why
fine.
though? Why? Is there like a behavior here, or is he just totally fucking off his chain? Is he a bitch ass? What that guy said.
So I will give anybody, whenever I talk about the community as a whole, I always say there's some really wild people in there, and it's a bit much for me. I can't always interact with the entire community, and I get it. Sometimes they're a bit much. He's probably seen a lot of people being a bit too much, maybe a lot too much. I understand that that's fine, but I guess the issue that I have isn't so much the end result on its own. It's been the things that have been said about why it's happening and why it's happened. And as we move along, things shift in like kind of a weird way. Like I said, if what you just said was the reason, it'd be like, that makes perfect sense to me. I think that everybody can agree and respect it. Like, it's your subreddit. You should be able to do whatever you want with it. But when we get these like little pieces of explanation and then they change in the way that they've changed, that just seems really, really sussy, and it makes people feel a little weird about what's going on, and it's a little bit confusing. Does that make sense?
So you're just mad that reasons are changing for why people were banned, or
No,
because it
no, I'm
seems
not.
like
I'm
this
not
is-
even
when
mad.
when I hear people, okay, you're not mad. You're just disappointed. Whatever. It
No,
feels like when
I'm
people are
just explaining what I think is going on here and why some of these things have been really contentious. I think it just seems like
Okay,
there's
it's
like a blind
contentious.
spot on the. If you're not like fully like it doesn't matter what's said or whatever. Like, I just like 100% agree with Destiny. If you're on the other side of that, you don't even have to be pro Max. But if you're on the other side of that, then I just think that these are the issues that come up, and these are going to be the things that are going to be contentious. And these are the things that I think are a little bit like weird and probably need like a better resolution for people to like shut the fuck up about them.
Also, Elder Drazi, I think it would be a good moment for you to restate your affiliations with Mr. Girl.
Oh, that's fair. So I talked to you before. I told you I was making a movie about Mr. Girl, and I was a YouTube mod. Obviously, I'm not a fucking YouTube mod anymore. I'm a mod for his chat, and I was recently given moderation over his subreddit. But I literally just checked to make sure make sure people aren't saying batshit crazy things that's going to get the Reddit pulled down. I don't interact with it. Like maybe I posted like one thing or like upvoted like one or two things the entire time I've moderated. I'm not really a big Reddit user.
Gotcha.
So if you're wondering if like I have like a bias or like stake in the game, like I think it's more relevant how big of a fan of Mr. Girl I am. But I'm also a huge fan of yours. I think you were the first streamer that I've ever like watched on like a regular basis. So like,
my issue was I just didn't I didn't feel like the justifications given for banning Mr. Girl and his fans were good because they tried to like create this false narrative that Mr. Girl fans are this distinct group of people who are coming into your subreddit to astroturf it or turn it into Mr. Girl subreddit when really it feels more like there are Destiny fans who are also fans of Mr. Girl and they disagree with
I
the
mean, there's
opinion
going to be
on
like a lot of like Mr. Girl fan crossover between Destiny and Mr. Girl fans. Like that's
it's
always
not
going
even
to
like
be.
a lot. It's probably like the vast majority of Mr. Girl's fans are
Sure,
also
but
your
there is
fans.
definitely like a type of like Mr. Girl warrior that shows up in the sub.
What does that mean? A Mr. Girl warrior?
Like kind of like the religious fanatical defense, the kind of like if you don't understand it, it's just because you're not smart enough, and then like
Well, in the eyes of that Mr. Girl warrior, the people who shit on Mr. Girl relentlessly are Destiny warriors, right?
sure, some of them are too, but it's Destiny subreddit.
Okay, but you could just see it as two Destiny fans who vehemently disagree on.
But that's not what's going on, right?
I don't know why you're saying that it's not.
Because it's not. It's not just two Destiny fans. It's two people of what are quickly becoming opposing fan bases, I guess.
Yeah, they're
Using
becoming
my
opposing
subreddit.
fan bases because Forethought is banning everybody who agrees with Mr. Girl, or even
Well,
just
originally they're
dislikes
becoming opposing fan bases because of the like huge disagreements they're having with one another in the subreddit, right? That was part of the issue of what was going on.
It's not okay for fans in your subreddit to have huge disagreements.
I didn't like the types of disagreements that I saw from Mr. Girl fans, but he might not like the types of disagreements that people in my fan base show. I can understand that.
It's fine for you not to like the type of disagreements, or even if, like, I think we were talking with Irrelevant. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm going to do it anyway. Where basically he was saying there could be like a justification where they don't want Mr. Girl fans who are Destiny fans posting positive things in your subreddit because it might encourage more Mr. Girl fans to, make the subreddit more about him, and that they should just take it to his subreddit. That's a fine distinction to make. I just don't like the lie that is being perpetrated. That is, oh, these are Mr. Girls fans coming from somewhere, who knows, in order to turn this sub into your sub. That's what I didn't like.
I don't like this line of thought that it's like, oh no, like it's all Destiny fans. Like clearly we're talking about two people on opposing sides. Like it'd be like if there was like a pro or an anti-vegan war in my subreddit, and it's like, why are you banning all of the vegans or anti-vegans? Like they're all Destiny fans. Like,
yeah, I would think that that's stupid. Especially,
well, but I mean, like but you wouldn't just say they're all Destiny fans
if-
because that's not what the disagreement's over, right? Is whether you're a fan of Destiny or not, right?
Well, what I'm saying is I didn't like the framing that these people are not your fans. They're your
Well,
fans.
I mean, what do you
disagreeing with
expect when
other
the
fans.
framing is through like I'm declaring war on your subreddit? I mean, how is the framing going to be anything different?
How's the frame? I understand.
Like it started out like that's like basically the most hostile kind of like declaration you can do.
I think you're jacking it. I think you're jacking it. When he said he's declaring war, I don't think a substantial amount of people thought. Like what does that even mean? So what are we gonna start doing now that Mr.
I mean,
Rose
go read his war declaration that he's like
Are we gonna be
hypercritical
blowing
about
up-
some of the moderation policies and that he was going to continue to criticize the subreddit. You know, those criticisms are going to roll down to people like Forethought and come from like his fans and stuff. Like it's not unreasonable to think. Like
we did touch on this,
Okay.
Benny. I think that Destiny doesn't agree that the majority of people are going to hear it that way. Even though people like you and I, we watch Mr. Girl all the time. We know what's going on when he says that. It's funny. It's funny. We know what he means, but not everybody's going to. So there is some kind of problem that gets started there, and Mr. Girl probably knew that to some degree too. Just didn't really have the intention of that as like a side effect. And Destiny's trying to say like, this is part of the fucking effect here, and he has to deal with it too. But I think that you guys are kind of like missing each other's points a little bit as well. like Benny's trying to say is like Destiny. I haven't heard you address when Benny says it sounds like people are coming from somewhere else. When you say there's a vegan and anti-vegan argument in there, and you're banning all the vegans, so you're like, yeah, but the vegans are the one
Well,
who's
it's not.
acting
You can
like
say
assholes.
you're. Well, I'm gonna say that like there's probably like conversations happening in Mr. Girl's subreddit and Mr. Girl's Discord, and then you're gonna say yeah, but they're not coming from somewhere else because they're already on your subreddit. But that's not like a real answer, right? My guess is, and I don't know because I'm not part of any other Discords. My guess if I go into Mr. Girl's Discord, I bet there's a lot of talk there about stuff going on with the subreddit and everything. Yeah.
Surprisingly, it seems like they have their own thing, but like it doesn't dismiss from your point. Sure, but and I'm not necessarily saying I think the same thing as Benny. He's just trying to address that it makes him think and feel really weird about the rhetoric when it sounds like people are coming to your like your subreddit, joining it as Mr. Girl fans to like be combative in there. When it's people that have already been there prior to Mr. Girl showing up on the scene. Like
Yeah, this is like a word trick. That's like this is like a word trick. It's like being played. Like I know that they're already there. It's not a matter of like, are they already there? It's a matter of like, is there some sort of like foreign exogenous influence that's kind of like driving people to act in a certain way?
Yeah,
And
it's not.
Yeah,
that's not happening. There are no place where Mr. Girl fans talk about how they're unhappy about this. That doesn't exist. So if I were to go to his subreddit, and would you bet money on that? If I were to go to his,
It's happening there now because they're getting banned by Forethought. Before he started getting banned by Forethought, and maybe this is a blessing in disguise, there wasn't that much activity going on Mr. Girl subreddit.
And if I look in the Discord, there were no conversations about the moderation activity in the subreddit or anything before.
Listen,
the
I can't
war?
speak for the Discord. I don't be going in the Discord. I can't.
Okay.
it's a bit much. Let's be real.
That's what I mean when I say outside. Like I know it's coming from my community, but like it's like if some other person were to have like a big presence in my community and then start to like foment like hatred or whatever, like Dan could theoretically start people from Discords, and I'd say, oh look, it's coming from outside, even if they're members of my community.
Here's the problem. If we go back to the vegan example that you gave, like if vegans started posting a lot of pro-vegan stuff, and considering you hate animals, you started banning all of the vegans because you were like, oh, we don't want to, see too much vegan discussion. But then you didn't ban the meat eaters from posting about how vegans are cringe or stupid or losers or how they, they're vitamin deficient. That would be weird. Now you could do that if you want, but that would be weird.
Here's what I think is more weird. Okay,
like,
is that if you have like a community that's like giving you a ton of support and is like arguably like bolstering you in a way that another community could, that to get like very presumptuous, start making huge demands of that community, that seems like literally the worst idea in the universe.
You can make that argument, but number one, I would argue that Mr. Girl is a part of the community, and number two,
no, hold on, stop. He's not just a part of the community. He has a financial stake in growing off of the interests of the community.
That's true, but he is also a part of the community. What was my other point? I forgot.
So I think that this became a lot bigger deal.
He's a part of the community, and I don't think it's wrong for him to make demands. I mean, you could just say no, but.
Well, no, I may say I have, but we're disagreeing on whether or not I should be saying no, right?
Sure. But for that to be just okay, we'll just ban anybody who disagrees with Destiny. It's a little weird.
Am I banning everybody that disagrees with me?
There were a lot of people getting banned just for being Mr. Girl fans, and Forethought said that he was banning people just for being Mr. Girl fans.
Hey, this
Okay.
Destiny,
Am I banning everybody who disagrees with me? Well, I am being specific. Am I banning?
No, I was
well,
telling Benny
I ban everybody that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was being a little hyperbolic.
Yeah. This is a big, like, rightfully this is a big deal for Destiny, so we got to be really specific when we pick out how we're trying to lodge a complaint about what's happening here. And I get it. I would be really critical of how anybody talked if I was in the same spot. If I may, Benny, I think what Benny's trying to say is that, so when somebody says something bad about Mr. Girl, it's okay. When somebody says something good about Mr. Girl, that's not okay. This seems like it's sending a message, and maybe it is, but this message doesn't fall in line with the things that we've been being told. So it feels very confusing. So like I said, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm not really.
So here's like, I mean, like the confusion I think is pretty easy to understand and clear up.
Cool.
I think it's that
great.
like it felt like there is a secondary community that was starting to become hostile to the primary community, and then Forethought made the decision to start excising that secondary community because it seemed like it was becoming hostile to the primary community. I think that's what, especially post-war declaration.
Okay, And now if you're in Mr. Grill's shoes and you see that it even in the long post that says if you want to talk about something negative about Mr. Grill, you can respond to the or if you want to respond to something negative being said about Mr. Grill, you can put that in the comments. That kind of feels like an endorsement of it. It seems like there's almost an endorsement of a counter community being built that is anti Mr. Grill within your community. And if you are Mr. Grill, it makes sense that you'd want to say something about it. You can say like, "Hey, I
Hold
think
on,
that
stop.
this is okay."
Let's
Sure.
okay, hold on. So if Mr. Girl wants to be like if I'm the logic lord and he's the emotion lord, okay. This is what
Sure.
you would do, okay? If you saw that it looked like an anti-community was being created, then your goal should be to intervene in that as much as possible. And by repeatedly upping the hostility, right? Hostility only works when you have some amount of leverage or power to exercise said hostility against the other side, right? If I'm a 3 foot, 5-year-old child, and I'm like ramping up my hostility against a 6'7" NBA player, at some point the guy's just gonna like kick me to the side, and then that's it. Like I don't really have any leverage there to be hostile.
Sure.
So I have to use other tactics to communicate with them. Obviously, kindness, empathy, whatever, other things.
Yeah,
For
brilliant.
Max to go up to like it seems like maximum hostility over and over and over and over and over again, and to continue to ramp that up when he really has no leverage to do so. Like what you're here at our behest, we enjoy having Mr. Girl's content here. It was fun having him on stream, et cetera, et cetera. Like you don't like if I. This sounds really mean. I'm trying to sound mean. I like Max, and I'll continue to like Max, but like not to sound mean, but like
I believe you.
if I banned every single piece of Mr. Girl content from my sub tomorrow and we moved on, we would be fine. It's not a blip. It would just be boom.
Yeah,
So
I understand
from that
that.
perspective, and he has to understand from that perspective, okay, well if it's that easy to theoretically wipe my content, I need to tread carefully. I need to do what I can to be like in good standing with that community. I need to do what I can to make sure that everything's chill rather than ramping up the hostility as much as possible. Because when he did the no jumper thing, I'm pretty sure there was like wasn't there a 400 or 500 comment thread? It was overwhelmingly positive. And was this after the war or right before the war? The no
It's
jumper
hard to
thing.
say. Like, did this?
That might have even been after the war, and even that thread was overwhelmingly positive. So he still had like a lot of like goodwill in my community.
Sure, but it
then
didn't mention
he's like,
you.
huh?
But it didn't mention you.
Okay, I don't know how that's relevant. I'm just saying he still had a lot of goodwill in my community.
No,
and he was even doing victory laps. Actually, I think after the war, he even posted that clip, or he posted that thread where he's like, "Look, this just proved that I was right about Fuentes." And even I think thing was getting like overwhelmingly positive support in my community.
Well,
Okay.
So I mean, like, so it's not like they all like hate him and just like, oh fuck, it's all like fuck Mr. Girl, blah blah blah. Like he had a lot of like goodwill in my community and stuff. But then it seems like he's burned through a lot of it very 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 quickly, and he's continuing to burn through a lot of it very 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 quickly.
okay, I
Do
guess.
you think he's right?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that maybe that was a response to what Benny said. So, that what I was trying to get at is that the way things have been worded and said in that big post, the Mr. Girl said no to. It does sound like that there is. It makes it sound as though there is an endorsement of anti-Mr. Girl posts, and if people are getting banned for being a Mr. Girl fan, but not for being an anti-fan of Mr. Girl, that's fine. It would just be, I think, a lot better, and I think that you would deal with a lot less pushback from Max and from his
Yeah, but
community
careful,
if
remember,
it was said
I don't-
that way.
I don't have to deal with any pushback. I could just say,
I agree.
I'm done with this, and then just
But
permaban it all,
Do you
right?
know
But
what post that we're talking about?
He's
Do I
got
know
it.
what?
The post that we're talking about that Elder Drazi keeps on referencing?
Which one?
It's the one he said no to, and then he got
Oh,
banned
yeah,
afterwards.
Or
Yeah, I know.
questions around
Yeah.
his community.
So all I'm saying is that I know you could do that. Like I'm interacting here in what I perceive to be extremely good faith. I'm not trying to like do anything fucky here. Like I said, I like and respect you, and so I think that when these things happen, you are going to deal with pushback because of who you are. You don't have to. That's what makes you a good streamer. That's what makes you fun to watch and listen to, because we know you're not doing shitty, underhanded things ever. So I know that you're going to continue to deal with it, but it seems like you would have a good reason to want to not like to quell this. And I think that there's just a lot of confusion and weird feelings from a lot of people that are causing this pushback because it feels like we're not getting the real story as to what's going on here. We're getting mixed messaging, and if you just wanted to say like,
I feel
all
like,
right, I'm
yeah,
not dealing
backed
with
up
any
a
of
few
this
times
stuff.
and I've said it. It's just like, it's pretty obvious, I think, what's going on. Is that it feels like there's a secondary community brewing, like an anti-jerk in a way community brewing over around another content creator in my community, and then they're kind of becoming hostile towards one another. But I
I think
control everything, so of
I think
course
it's
my...
I think it's retarded to frame it as a secondary community
Okay, well, why is it retarded frame as a secondary community?
because they're your fans.
Okay, hold on. Do you realize that what you just said is fucking retarded?
No, I think what I
Okay,
said was really smart.
I'm
Actually.
muted in the Discord.
Okay.
I just gotta say,
How,
it feels like I was building.
do you
something
understand
really good there,
that
and then
sub-communities can
Benny
form within
blew it to
communities, right?
smithereens.
And that some of those communities can break off over time?
You didn't
Fuck.
say sub-community. You said secondary community, like a different one. A sub-community.
Secondary doesn't necessarily mean it has to be
sub-community
completely and totally different. Like,
A
even between
sub-community would still be contained within your own community.
Okay, does Vosh have a community?
Yes.
Do I have a community?
Yes.
Okay, but there's probably a big overlap, right? So are they not two
Mhm.
different communities? Is one a sub-community of the other, or...
No.
Okay, so a sub-community is another type of community. I don't know. This is
But a
like a weird...
sub-community would be contained within a larger community, which means the people in the sub-community
This
would
is...
also be a part
These
of the
are
larger community.
pointless word games. If there's
They're
another...
not, no. They're not pointless word games because I'm trying to establish the fact that the people that you're talking about, who are the secondary community coming in and ruining your primary community, are actually just a part of your community. They just
Okay,
disagree.
what word would you like me to use so that you can understand what I'm talking about?
My fans are having a disagreement with some of my other fans about Mr. Girl.
Okay, so there's another group of my fans that are forming, that are defending another content creator, and that group of fans are fighting a lot with most of my other fans.
Okay.
So do I appease that group of fans who are all also the fans of another person, or do I just excise them and then continue to move on with little lost?
You could probably... I think the best solution for the situation that you're talking about is banning all discussion of the other content creator rather than banning only the positive supporters of that content creator and leaving all the negative ones. That's what I think the better solution would be.
Why?
Because as a fan of you, it feels bad when I go on the subreddit and I see a bunch of Mr. Girl posts just shitting on him when I like Mr. Girl as well. And I don't think it's good.
I don't know if you
for Mr.
feeling
Girl.
bad about something is like that's a compelling enough argument for me to care.
So I think
Well,
the idea is that
that's
it
the
would
reason
be.
that I'm giving.
Benny's saying that he thinks that it's morally wrong, that if you want to quell this, that you can quell it in a way without making somebody like a quote-unquote victim of the solution. You can say that, you know what, you guys, I've fucking had it with the Mr. Girl shit. I'm tired of dealing
Well, there's
with it.
always
No
going
more
to be a
Mr. Girl
victim.
conversation.
There's always going to be a victim, right? Because right now my community, well, hold on, I'm sorry. Most of my fans, I didn't want to use the C word there and trigger the one guy. Most of my fans probably just want me to completely ban all the Mr. Girl fans. That's probably what most of my fans want. But I don't really want to do that because I think that's probably not a good way to do it. But like, if I don't do that, like they're gonna feel like losers. If I do that, then Mr. Girl and his fans are gonna feel like losers. So I mean, like somebody's gonna feel kind of irritated. No matter
You
what
could just
happens.
you could just ban any posts or discussions about Mr. Girl for the time being, right?
Why? Why would I do that though? I don't need to do that.
Is
Would I
there-
do
is
that
there-
on
is
any
there-
other content creator?
Would you lose anything if you did do that?
Potential entertainment. If Mr. Girl is involved in a conversation where people want to, post about it and be critical about it, and they can't now, yeah, they'd probably feel like they're losing something.
Okay, so then the only entertainment that can stem off of a Mr. Girl conversation is negative attention towards Mr. Girl and shitting.
It doesn't have to be. The no jumper stuff wasn't negative. That was after the war. That was incredibly positive.
Oh, Benny means if he interacts with you, though.
Well, I mean, if he interacts with me in ways that are always negative, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Well, no. If he interacts with you in a way that's fine, you're like, that was a good conversation. Max is like, that was a good conversation. But some parts of your community were like, I don't really like how Destiny said this and this. Like, he said that Mr. Girl is gaslighting him. I think that's fucking stupid. I don't think he was gaslighting him at all. And the mods are like, well, that shit's banned. And somebody else is like, I think that Mr. Girl did really fucking bad here. He told Destiny that
I think it's probably
he was
going to
gaslighting
depend.
Stardust.
Yeah, I guess it's probably going to depend in a little bit in the future, like, I guess, where the community's at. But right now, I'm not sure, because right now, Mr. Girl and his fans, our fans, sorry, I'm trying to be careful there, are doing everything they can to like piss off like entirely the rest of like my fans, which is making the situation a lot more insane for everybody. Here's
That's
like an
also a weird
issue
thing.
that
I was
here's like a
wow.
lesson you can learn from Max that Max is hopefully able to learn. Sneeko's in the process of learning it. Lab is in the process of learning it. Hopefully Max is not too old to learn it. This is a lesson I learned. But oftentimes when we feel pressured, right, as pressure increases, so does the temperature. We want to increase the temperature on everything as much as possible. When we start to feel mad, we want everybody to feel mad, and we want to lean in and lean in and lean in and increase the pressure and the temperature on every single thing that we do. But sometimes the best thing you can do is to just take a deep breath and chill and back off for a minute. And then once you do that, because this is a guess. Now I don't know. No, I do know because I've been in internet community so a long time. If after the war thing would have happened, if Max had been like, okay, I think that I went like a little bit too hard on the sub stuff. Like, I'm just gonna chat and chill with Steven. We're gonna post in our sub more, and we're just gonna kind of like chill and everything. He can mod his sub how he wants. I don't know if I agree with it. And then boom, like back off like that. Then I guarantee you that more posts would have popped up over time. People would have been like, oh, this is in conversation with Max. They're fine. They're cool or whatever, etc. And it would have been okay. But instead, it was this like, I think that they disagree with me, and now I'm gonna turn the dial up to 11. And if they disagree with you at the dial at 8, oh my God, when it gets to 11, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I feel like this is a problem that Max has run into a couple times now where when he feels like there is disagreement, his goal is to lean into it as much as fucking possible until something breaks. That's what it feels like.
Giga Chad.
But it's not. That's not Giga Chat. That's retardation, right?
Didn't you kind of do the same thing with Kevels?
No, not even close.
You might have gone about it in a smarter way, but there were a bunch of people telling you to just leave it alone.
Yes, but that's
off.
the point, the smarter way, right? I was very strategic in how I handled everything relating to Keffels. You could argue that I did it with Keffels initially, that when we started fighting, I got irritated and I started tweeting out more and lashing out more. But what happened? I got my Twitch ban, right? But my dealings with her afterwards were handled in a much more tactful, much more strategic, and much more careful way. Of course, I learned my lesson there, right?
True, but I think and this is a part of why I'm a Mr. Girl fan. Like you engaged in some forms of deception in order to achieve your goal, which is fine. But Mr. Girl would rather just be direct and address the problem head on, which although it may not be smarter,
It's not optically good.
and it may not also be optically good. I don't think he's wrong in doing it that way.
Okay. Well, I mean, Sneeko's deleted from the internet now. Lab is losing a lot of internet presence and state of mind. I mean, Max is having issues, obviously. I don't know what to.
So
I don't know how to convince you otherwise. Like, it's just not a good way to approach things. Like, that's like what you call deception.
You're also not helping though. That's also.
I am. Hold on. I'm the only reason a lot of these people have a lot of the notoriety they do. I shouldn't say notoriety.
You're right. But all I'm saying is, in regards to this
hold on. So
situation,
what you just said was not just incorrect. It was the most incorrect thing you could have
No, it's not the most
said.
incorrect thing.
It is the most incorrect thing you could have said.
I already just said you could have just banned all Max discussion instead of just allowing your fans, some of your fans, a subset of your fans, to just continue to shit on him endlessly with no pushback.
It's not going to be endless. There's a 3-day. There's a 3-day cap on circle jerking, so it's not.
It's been endless. A long 3 days.
Well, that's because things keep coming up over and over again. Stuff keeps happening. More conversations, everything keep happening.
And you're gonna have another conversation on Friday, and it's probably gonna be another 3 days, right?
That's how 3 days works. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a long 3 days.
Well, it's not a long 3 days.
That's like 3 days.
Well, if there's 4 different conversations, I mean, that's kind of what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I guess.
I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like 3 days.
Benny, for Benny and Destiny, both of you seem to like engage a little bit in hyperbole, and it seems like both of you latch on.
Wait, what did I just hyperbolize?
No. I've been trying to get in and say this. This is just a broader statement because I've seen it happen in the time that I wasn't.
What did I just say? No. Make him answer. No, make him answer. What did I just say that was hyperbole?
No, he didn't say that. I did.
He did just say that. No, he said it. He said I'm hyperbolizing everything. What did I say?
Oh, I missed him saying that.
I was just trolling. I
Okay.
can't lie. I was just trolling.
I'm not trying to troll. I'm just saying.
Absolutely, Dave.
Like I told Benny earlier, is like, hey, don't use hyperbole, like, because like rightfully so, you're going to look at everything that either of us say, and you're going to evaluate it for how we said it because that's the spot that you're in. Like if both of you just strayed away from it, I think that you would have a better communication. I think that
Here's
things are a
what
little
this is
tense.
the rough plan. There's two paths before us. Okay,
Uh-huh.
ready? Okay. So on one path, am I talking to Max tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow.
Okay, in one path, I'm going to talk to Max. He's going to present to me his problems, okay? I understand his point of view, but the way that conversation is ultimately going to end is I'm going to say, listen, you can place a really high bar for how I moderate my community if other communities grew out of it, but I'm never going to want to meet that bar because I've already had extreme success in growing a community. I already have I'm doing really well with the way that I'm doing things. I'm not going to bend and change the way that you want me to. If I were to, I just wouldn't host other content creators at all. But I agree that the anti-jerking shit gets really strong sometimes. I could probably do a little bit better at moderating that. But also, once we stop talking about all this shit and you go back to doing content and I go back to doing my shit and we just like interact like we did before, I think the community is probably going to largely chill out. And I think that that is like what will happen. We'll have that conversation. There'll probably be a day or two or three more of anti-jerking. Then the next big thing will come up, or Max will have another funny interview, and then people go back like, oh yeah, this guy's like pretty funny. I remember why I liked him before. And that's probably what's going to happen. That's one path. The other, so in one path, in about a week, things are like back to normal and people are chill again. I'll probably do like a big unbanning of people, unban Max, whatever, and then we're good. But in the second path, Max is super unsatisfied with that conversation. He continues to do like weird side convos with Lav or talking a lot about Anna on his subreddit and me and going over and over and over again with this. And he creates like an actual deep-seated real hatred in my community, which he's done a really good job at, especially over the Anna stuff, is he's gotten people to go from like, oh, Max is kind of annoying and whiny on stream to like, wait, actually, I think I fucking hate this guy. He really does seem manipulative and abusive. And if he continues going down that path, there's probably not going to be a road to redemption for him or his community on my subreddit because people are going to actually hate him. But that all of that depends on like his response and reactions to things. I'm generally chill to just sit and see what happens, but I'm like pretty hands off on everything. That's just what I do.
So,
but okay, sorry,
just to be clear, I don't support a lot of the things that you just said. I think even if you have a difference in opinion of about Anna, it's probably I think it's pretty out of pocket to come and bring it to you like that. In that way, it probably should just be handled off stream because there's a lot of context that we understand that's how that should go. But aside from all that, you said something earlier, and I just would just like to bring it back to that for just 1 minute. You gave the reason why these bannings are happening. And I think it's a much better reason. And if I'm going off of what you say and not what's happening in Forethought or in a post on the subreddit, or not what Forethought said before, to me at least, which I would consider myself to be a very reasonable fan of both yours and Max's. That is very satisfactory. Can you just say like the reason why the banning and stuff is happening again? And like I know, and anybody who's reasonable know that like this is what's going on, and we have a very clear answer.
Well, I think my guess is on a macro level, the reason why the ban is happening is because like a second community is forming that seems to be like ruthlessly defending a content creator to like the irritation of like the main fan base. That's what seems to be happening. What the fuck is this train doing?
Okay, and if that was the case, like you fully support that then, right?
The bannings?
Yeah, if that's what's happening, then you support that, correct?
I feel like it's a little extreme, but I'm a big pussy when it comes to like banning people. I don't normally I don't like to ban people a lot. But if Forethought is getting irritated, like I said, like I give a lot of deference to my mods in terms of why is he going there? In terms
how
of how
league bans do you have, by the way? That you ban people when you play League?
Can you give me a mod in the server? Irrelevant?
That's not a fair question to ask. That nobody can count that high. So I extended a lot of charity to you earlier when it was just irrelevant, and I think before Benny came in, maybe Benny, it doesn't matter. I said that it seems like if you were to undermine your mod's ability to make bans without you breathing down their neck, that might destroy the entire idea that your mods can do anything. Like you'll end up being the only mod then. It seems like they have a pretty strong attitude that they want to be able to do their job without you standing over their shoulder. Does that have anything to do with it?
Say that again. That I don't want to like enforce decisions because
no, that you don't want to. So right as it stands right now, your mods pretty much have the authority to do what they think is correct. And if you were to undermine that by going, well, hang on a minute, I think that this is a little bit too extreme. I think you need to walk back a couple of these things. You need to unban a couple of these people right now, rather than doing it at like a set time later. That it's going to undermine their. Like they're going to feel like you're undermining.
No, I don't think it's going to undermine anything. I think that like largely speaking, like because there are times when I do disagree with RTBA, and Fortha does come to me and he asks like, should I ban this or should I allow this or whatever. Like it's okay. I just generally I don't intervene because I don't want to have an active role, and I want them to kind of develop their own feel for how to do the moderation and everything. Because if I start getting really active, then why the fuck am I? Why do I have these people doing stuff, right?
I feel like that's like half of what I said. So
Yeah,
then,
I mean, but it's not about like I'm not scared to tell him. Like if I'm almost for sure gonna unban Max, and I'm not scared to tell Forethought like, hey, I'm unbanning Max, or hey, like we're probably gonna start unbanning his fans. Like I don't think we need to have like 200 bans on the subreddit. They're just people like I'll probably say that at some point in a week or two when things are like chill. And if he likes, he's not. I don't think he's gonna fight me on it. I think at the most, you're like, oh, okay, well, I think that's kind of dumb. I'm like, oh, well, whatever, just do it, and then we move on from there. It's not like a huge deal. I feel like Max's fans sometimes think they're like the center of the universe, but it's the grand scheme of things. Like this is kind of what's going on now. But again, like I said, like in a week or two, I don't think we're gonna be thinking about this much. Like let's just move on.
sure. I hope.
Wait, can I expand on that? Like, you've Destiny. I've heard a couple of times you say that like you'll probably unban Max in a week, and stuff like that. You do a mass unban. Can I ask why specifically that's not happening tomorrow?
Because right now the temperature is still too fucking high, and I don't think Max has the social awareness, and then by extension his fans don't have the social awareness to just fucking chill. So what I don't want to happen is if I do a big mass unban right now, and then the fighting resumes immediately, I'm not going to be able to do one in the future without people being way more hostile to it, because there's going to be a bad taste in their mouth over it. It's going to be like, well, what happened the last time you did a big mass unbanning of Max's fans? You know, that shit got fucked, and now look what happened. So like I think I just chill. I let the temperature cool for a bit, and then I start banning people, and then everything is okay. But the more that like the pressure increases, the temperature increases, everybody gets like more and more mad. It just fucks everything up for everybody.
Right. So Benny and Elder, is that a satisfactory answer for why he hasn't banned him right now?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. I do have a question that just seems like a
Well,
very
let me answer the
natural and
question.
logical. Okay, yeah, I'll let Benny answer, but then I would like to ask a follow-up question. Go ahead, Benny.
I feel like it was unreasonable to ban Max at all to begin with. I don't think that he goes into your subreddit and types out unhinged or ridiculous things. I think he generally has civil conversations with people, so I don't think it was reasonable.
I'd have to go back and find the post, but there was that one day that he was posting where it felt like, but he was essentially answering every single person that was disagreeing with him. He was essentially saying like, well, you're just not smart enough to understand what I'm doing. That was a little unhinged, but I don't know.
Well, I can't say
The bar's pretty low.
somebody
Then.
doesn't get it.
What?
I can't say that somebody doesn't get what I'm saying.
Do you want me to find that post where somebody like was copy pasting a whole
Well,
bunch?
you can find the post, but I'm responding to your characterization of it. So if you bring up the post and he's calling everybody a retard, well, I can't defend that, but your characterization of it didn't sound like that.
If somebody can link me that original post, we can go and read it. But he was basically being super dismissive of everybody that was criticizing him, saying like, "No, you just don't get it. You're not smart enough. You don't understand what I'm trying to do." And it's like, okay,
I want to read the post now.
Okay. If anybody in my chat has a link to it, we can go over it real quick.
While we're looking for that, can I give that follow-up question? Is that agreeable with everybody here?
Go for it. Knock yourself out.
Okay, so sorry. If you do unban people, like you said, I don't know if this is a question or a suggestion. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Is it possible to do it in a way where this explosion of like fighting doesn't resume if you don't unban people like in slices? It seems like if you open the floodgates, no matter what, people are gonna have all this pent up shit, and they're just gonna freak the fuck out no matter what.
I don't think people ever have pent up shit. I think that after a few days, I think all of it largely dissipates, and then I think people will just move on to the next. Like Max will do another interview with somebody, there'll be another piece of drama, something will happen, and then people just kind of move on. I think it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair as well, I've heard Destiny give this advice for even like way bigger shit, like fucking crazy LSF shit.
Yeah, I look at Mizkif. Mizkif is like streaming again, and people fucking moved on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like. I think after enough time, it probably won't be a big deal. But I think that that applies to like the Mr. Girl fans who are also Destiny fans, but not really Mr. Girl. But again, if you show me the post of him going into the chat calling everybody, a dumb fuck, subhuman, then I'd change my mind on that.
Well, I don't think he called anybody subhuman or dumb fuck, but somebody fuck. Does anybody have a link to the post? Hold on.
Yeah, you have fans just like Irrelevant. Won't link.
That's a reference to the fact that nobody could get me links. Wait, Destiny. Then can I ask you a question about from Max's perspective on So they were addressing the fact that there seems to be some posts on your Reddit that give, um, criticisms or might hate on Mr. Girl. From his perspective, or from your perspective, would it not be more considerate of you towards Mr. Girl's feelings to remove all posts of Mr. Girl instead of just removing what people would
Well,
consider
yeah,
to
but I don't
be
know if I'm
positive?
like considering his feelings when it comes to moderating my subreddit. I
Right,
don't know if that's
right.
like a
So
priority to me.
I feel like this is a question that Benny and Elder really should have dived into. Do you think it is? Do you guys want to expand on whether or not it is Destiny's responsibility to look after Mr. Girl's feelings when it comes to? Because I feel like Benny, you were pretty big on the idea that Destiny or his team should ban all
No, I
mention of
just
Mr. Girl.
I just didn't like the hypocrisy where they were using a justification that didn't seem to be true, which was, um, we're banning Mr. Girl fans. I was like, you're just banning Destiny fans who like Mr. Girl. Who are, I mean, they are also Mr. Girl fans, but they're Destiny fans. It felt more like they just didn't want people who are Mr. Girl fans to be on the subreddit at all because they just didn't like Mr. Girl and didn't like Mr. Girl fans. So, I just felt like if you wanted to be fair, you could ban all Mr. Girl content and let things cool down. But the moderation wasn't fair. It was just banning Mr. Girl content and allowing him to get shit on. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. I'm not
Do
going to say
you,
that you can't
do
do
you
that.
agree with that analysis, Destiny, that it is unfair of you towards Mr. Girl to not
Yeah, I mean,
ban?
I can feel like it feels unfair from his perspective, but I think that I think the issue was just that Forethought was getting so triggered, like dealing with it all, that he's just like, okay, I'm gonna start banning these people, basically.
Yeah, bitch ass nigga.
What exactly was the question again? Sorry, I had to get up.
It's what
For a
your
minute.
feelings are towards Destiny's statement that it may be unfair that not all Mr. Girl related posts are removed, and that there might be a disproportionate amount of Mr. Girl criticism or hate on the subreddit, and that Destiny doesn't feel like there needs to be an obligation for him to correct that kind of thing, even if it's unfair towards Mr. Girl. Do you feel like that is?
No, I don't think that he has any obligation whatsoever. However, I think that it's okay to have some consideration when you call somebody your friend. You can do that, but I'm not gonna protest out in the fucking streets about it. I'm not gonna blow up the subreddit about it. If you want to do that, that's your call. That's just for me to internalize and figure out how I feel about it. You don't have to let anybody do anything in your subreddit. Fuck them. It's your subreddit. My main concern with all of this has been like the really weird and confusing messaging about it, and with the things that I've heard, like I said before, like the things I've heard from Forethought, it just all seemed really, really sussy, and I guess it just ends up feeling super weird without having like a clear, direct answer as to what's going on, and we just sort of have to figure it out. Then it makes it feel really weird to be a Mr. Girl fan in a Destiny space.
Yeah, I guess when you say stuff like that, like it's so hard to figure out. It kind of, maybe I'm just crazy, but it kind of looks to me like everything's like pretty obvious in terms of what's happening. But I guess people like
Well, when
really need it.
Was that a
you gave-
ban I saw, Destiny?
Yeah, but only for, it's not a permaban.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
did
only 1,000.
I get banned?
No,
Wow.
not
Oh,
yet.
don't
okay.
think.
Yeah. So maybe I'm a bit of an overthinker. Maybe that's just how it looks like to me. But I can't imagine that I'm the only one. And so I just was raising those concerns, and more or less, I went on to Irrelevance just to provide some additional context because he's just going off of like whatever he was just watching, and then the things that he was saying. I was like, I just wanted to provide some additional context to this. I wasn't even like huffing and puffing about the things that you had done, but there were some issues, and I did bring up those issues, and I think that you stating very clearly what happened here is a pretty good resolution for that.
Okay, so did you guys not state, or at least I think Benny might have stated this earlier, that Destiny bans criticism of him, or he removes posts, or his team removes posts that are criticisms of him? Did that not happen earlier in this conversation? That was part of the start of this conversation.
I think
Destiny removes posts that criticize him.
Correct.
I don't think I said that.
Okay. Alright,
there was a
maybe I
Mr. Girl
misremembered.
take. Even if it got brought up
I
in here.
kind of have that opinion, but I don't think I said that.
I feel like this is the time, brother.
No, I just think you're really arrogant, and so you always think that you're right.
Do you think that
And
I'm
Everybody
do you think
thinks
Max?
they're
Wait,
right.
I'm just curious. Wait. Do you think Max is arrogant?
Uh,
Damn,
I don't even know
that's
why.
wild to
I don't
me.
even know why you're
Okay.
asking me that. Why are you asking me that?
I'm just curious if you
That's
do.
not-
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm asking about him.
Okay. Do I think Max is arrogant?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I know he is. I think he said that to me. I think I was on his hotline one time. And I said, I think I'm right about everything,
Who do you think is more
and he
arrogant?
agreed with me. Who do I think? I think
I'm just
that
curious
you.
because it's like
I think
hearing a Mr. Girl fan say that one of my problems I'm arrogant is just interesting because I feel like
it's
that's Max's biggest weakness. But
it's
but
tough. It's hard, right? Because Max is arrogant, but he'll say that. You're arrogant, but you won't. So it feels like you're more arrogant. You'll just start screaming, yelling over people, and then you'll ban them. He won't do that. So it feels like you're more arrogant. You might not be, but it definitely feels like you are more.
can you think is there a single topic that he's
I
changed?
do. Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna point out an instance of your arrogance, just
Well, go
blinding
ahead.
you.
What's an instance of my arrogance? Knock us about.
Listen, I know she can be annoying, right?
Uh-oh.
But let me make a hypothetical for you, right?
Sure.
Finish your thought, Benny.
I'm black.
Yep.
Irrelevant's black.
Okay.
If me and Irrelevant were feuding, and you were trying to explain something to me, and earlier in the call, I was calling Irrelevant the bitch ass nigga and a lame ass nigga, and he only has 903 likes on his video. What a loser, lame ass nigga. And
Damn.
you were explaining something to me, and I cut you off, and you said, "Shut the fuck up, you dumb fucking nigger."
Woo.
Wait.
What
With
does
the
that
soft A or
mean?
with the hard R? Hold on.
Yeah,
Soft A,
Jesus
soft A, soft A,
Christ.
soft
Okay,
A.
soft
Sorry,
A, soft A.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry,
Okay,
soft A.
Jesus.
Wouldn't
Christ, man.
don't you think that would be nuts?
For me to call a black guy the N-word and tell him to shut up, yeah, that would be pretty nuts, I would say. Yeah,
So I
probably.
just feel like that kind of transfers over to the situation with Lav. Now, listen, I can understand you doing that, but after
Do
the
you
fact,
really,
you should
just curious,
probably be like,
do you think
no, I
calling
shouldn't have said that.
do you think calling a woman a bitch is kind of similar to calling a black guy the N-word? Is that
I don't think it's the same. I think it's
I didn't say
similar.
the same, but you think it's kind of similar?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
identical.
Obviously.
Just kidding. It was a weird comparison, Benny.
Okay.
Uh,
No. See, and this is a part of the arrogance. You can't just give me the okay and move on. You gotta like,
Well, I think calling her a bitch was
if you want to
mean.
say, I'll think about it a little bit more.
No, I'm not gonna
but-
think about it. I don't need to think about it anymore. Calling her a bitch was mean, but she was being a hyper turbo cunt to Cherry on the call. And she is hyper turbo aggressive to almost everybody else. So in my mind, the boundaries are that this type of stuff is okay. I would have
Yeah,
never expected
sure,
her to
but
have that negative
so-
a reaction and be called a bitch.
That's
but
fine.
like
If you told me, if you just said "shut the fuck up, you asshole" to me, that'd be fine. But if you said "shut the fuck up, you dumb," and you capped it off with that soft A, that would be nuts. That's what I'm.
but
That's
it would depend on the context. If you and
No,
I
it
were
doesn't-
hanging
It doesn't really.
No.
depend
It
on
would depend. If you and I were hanging out a lot and you were using like 100 different fucking like racial epithets and shit towards me and we're like kind of friendly or whatever.
No,
maybe
but she wasn't calling you a bitch.
Wait.
And she wasn't.
She
calling
implied
you
that I was a
No,
simp. She
wasn't
implied that I was
calling
scared
you
of Cherry
a
twit laundering. Hold on, she's calling names to all sorts of people. Are you serious
Yeah,
right now?
She wasn't saying that to you. If she was saying that to somebody else,
wait, we're
right,
talking
and
about
you wanted
Lav
to get
right
aggressive
now.
with her, I'm saying, why would you use a targeted like attack on her that is based on an immutable characteristic, right? Like, why would you do that and then not apologize after the fact?
We're so far off from here. We're talking about Lav right now. When the original hypothetical, he said, "Would it be okay if you call me the N-word?" What the actual metaphor is if he was arguing with both of you, and then you responded back with, "Do you think irrelevant is one too?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then you go, "Which one do you think is more? Who do you think's a bigger one?" That would be the same. The thing with Lav, because you said arrogant. Okay, I'm saying he tried to use this to point out the whole arrogant thing, and now you're talking about calling Lav a bitch, but not calling. But this isn't comparable. Let's use Lav and Cherry, and they're both being vitriolic as fuck, and he calls Lav a
the
bitch.
reason
If
why I'm
Lav
saying
said
he's arrogant is because he won't apologize or
explaining the
acknowledge that
reason
he did something
why.
wrong.
Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. So firstly, I apologized to her privately as it happened because I didn't realize how much that it like set her off. But like, I think she's in the wrong. Like,
Stop.
No, hold
You're
on,
saying
I'm not gonna stop. When you've ramped up the fucking aggression to that level, and somebody calling you a bitch is what triggers
fucking
you,
tried, you
gotta
guys.
tone your own shit way the fuck
tried.
back.
if
You
I'm
need
fighting
to-
somebody
I
in
hope-
the street and then you come and hit
You
me
guys
in the
see
knee
this,
with
you
a
understand
baseball
what I was
bat,
trying to
going,
do
"Well, you were being aggressive." Like that doesn't make any sense. She wasn't giving you any of that energy. And even if
You don't know, she literally was. Every time I tried to talk or
why
say
would
anything,
you
They're
call her
literally
a
just
dumb
talking about
fucking
Lav now.
bitch? It doesn't make any sense.
every time I tried to speak or say anything, she kept cutting me off over and over and over and over again. Why do you think I called her a dumb bitch? Do you think it was just because
Okay,
I was just like triggered and for no reason? Of
cool.
course, she was giving me a ton of fucking aggression.
Sure, fine. Even if I take that into account, why would you call her a dumb fucking bitch? Why wouldn't you
She
just
was
say
being a
shut
dumb
the fuck
fucking
up?
bitch.
He thought she was being one.
My son
That's
is
why everybody
tweaking,
does
bro.
it.
That's what I'm saying. So if you said that to me, shut the fuck up, you dumb fucking N-word.
Bro, there's hugely different connotations there. What the fuck?
I'm not saying that there's none, but you can't understand how somebody could feel like, oh, he attacked me for being a woman, and at least
I
to
was
a
like,
certain
for being
degree,
fucking stupid and annoying.
in front of his mostly male audience. Yeah, but you use bitch for a reason. That's just a random word that you like. You couldn't say asshole. You could. I don't hear you call people bitch very often.
I
That's
call
not your
tons
bag.
of people bitch.
Stop
This is
it.
like when I call a
No,
trans person or a black person subhuman, and people are like, "Oh my god, you're being trans." Bro, I call everybody bitch and
It's not the same.
subhuman.
It's not the
Yes.
same.
What do you mean?
It's not the same
You want a
because
compilation?
no, it's not the same because anytime somebody's saying some stupid shit, you call them subhuman. You don't just be calling niggas bitches. That's not what you do. I've been watching you for 6 years. You don't just get that off. You don't just start
Okay.
calling people bitch.
All right.
I was shocked when I heard it. I was like, my son is tweaking. You didn't say nothing. And then after the fact, she said, oh, he apologized. He's like, no, I didn't, bitch. Like, you're tweaking, bro.
Okay.
I would just
I'm
like to
wrong?
say that Benny's views and ideas here are not necessarily expressive.
Well, Benny
of
sounds
mine.
like a bitch right now, to be honest. That's what's
Well, I
happening.
was just saying, like, hey, that's not what I didn't come in here to say any other shit.
I never said that I was male.
I came in
So,
here with some
another
legitimate
gendered
concerns
attack.
about Mr. Girl. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you just say, Benny?
Oh,
No, I'm not trans.
although
Okay, I was gonna say because
Benny, I support your right to say what you're saying, but I just don't support any of the stuff that you're saying right now.
I'm wrong?
No, I just look. I'm
a
not.
dumb fuck?
I didn't say any of that, Benny.
I'm subhuman?
Well, maybe, but I wouldn't know, and I'm not saying that.
Wow. Yikes.
I don't know. I don't. This is the first time I've ever actually met Benny.
Today, but...
wait, what? Wait, what did you just say? It's the first time you have ever met Benny?
Yeah, I've seen you on the hotline, and you've seen me on the hotline, but we've never talked before. This is the first time we've ever talked.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately.
Wait, why'd you vouch for them then?
So you see me on the
Because
hotline.
I've seen him.
dude.
I have seen him. I've seen him behave with pushback and all that shit. I've seen him be argumentative, and he's always seemed like he. This is the wildest I've ever seen Benny by fucking far. Okay.
Yeah, you
Bring
don't
it out of
say.
him, you know? I'm good at that. I just set people off.
But I'm
Oh,
not
I
saying
think-
that
I think
Benny's
the
wrong
reason
to
why
be
is 'cause
wild.
we
I just don't agree with all the things
disagree
he's
with
saying.
Mr. Girl,
So yeah, I just think I've never seen Benny behave any way other than what I thought was totally appropriate in any given situation. I don't know if he's like crazy out of line here, but I think that we got lost in the sauce pretty good here.
Do you think comparing like Mr. Girl's situation to like Vosh and Hassan, do you think that's like a decent comparison?
No, I thought that was a bad comparison. I told Irrelevant when he did it too.
Well, I compared the what I was trying to compare was I think it was over a statement of how whether or not you could say that when Vosh and Hassan were conjoined with your community, Destiny, whether or not they got the similar treatment on what was it? It was whether they got a similar treatment about their communities being conjoined, and that there was a splintering of communities, and when they would purge the community. So it was basically like, did Mr. Girl have a unique relationship with you in relationship to your Reddit?
Jesus
handle this
Christ. Are you okay?
dude, I'm trying to remember the argument. It was a while ago. I don't remember how exactly it worked.
I can help you out here. The conversation at that point was, I'm sorry, hang on a minute. Ah, fuck. Okay.
I think it
The
was
conversation
you
here
guys,
was.
do you think? Hold on, give me 1 second. Wait, hold on. You guys do your thing. 1 sec.
Okay, so Irrelevant. The conversation is that what was the difference? Why is Mr. Girl blowing up on the subreddit in a way to where Vosh and Hassan were not? And I said the reason was because I thought they were really that the Mr. Girl's a lot more interesting than they are. However,
it had to do with whether or not why. So the reason that I gave that Mr. Girl might be removed is because they believed that his community was using Destiny subreddit and as their own, and that did this happen in the past? Did this happen with Hassan? Did this happen with with Vosh when they were a part of Destiny's community. Why did or did it not happen in like getting all of that down? Right. That was pretty much it. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's how it came up. Yes.
Okay. I think
Fuck.
that's how it happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How did that get brought up again?
Because we were talking about the fact that
No, I mean like right now.
I don't know. It feels like somebody punched me in the balls 15 times. It really feels like somebody cut open my ball sack and snipped a bunch of shit out of there. But
You
I'm
should
dying.
probably.
I got a
tell
nice
people-
pack. Oh, I got a vasectomy.
Yeah.
at
Okay.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, there you
let's see.
go. There you
Like
go.
4 hours ago, I
Alright.
got a vasectomy and the numbingness is wearing off. And
So
whew,
4 hours you got ago, you got a vasectomy, and then you came into my chat.
as one does.
Okay.
Is that
Yes.
not the tradition, the vasectomy tradition? I'm pretty sure that it is known that after a vasectomy, one goes into a relevance chat, finds the Discord, enters the Discord, and then has a conversation about Mr. Girl. It's a tradition as old as time.
Somebody reminded me inside of the thing. All right, part of the reason why I sound like shit is because I'm on 21 hours awake now.
Oh shit, I do that a lot.
Oh, good for you. Weirdo.
Speaking of my, I'm late for my medicine. I'm not getting up to get it though.
Wait, so neither one of you have. I thought we had discussed that one of you two believed that Destiny was censoring criticism.
This was something. This was a
no.
complaint that was lodged by Mr. Girl, and to some degree, like it is technically true. Although I don't know how deliberate that is.
Okay, so on that.
But I didn't bring it up.
Why not address it? I mean, I brought it up
Well,
earlier. Why
for
not
me,
address it?
it's kind of more like I think that Mr. Girl brings up good points. I think a lot of people don't understand them, and so
True.
the argument never gets off the ground. So, like criticism for Destiny, as far as that goes, it's like you can't really criticism on the arguments because they don't really have an argument about anything that gets brought up. If I wanted to criticize him based on his moderation, I guess. I personally don't like the idea of banning all of Mr. Girl's fans. If you felt like the subreddit was getting astroturfed, I'd rather you just ban all Mr. Girl content for the time being. But that's about it, really. I mean, he can ban all Mr. Girl's fans and Mr. Girl if he wants to, but I think it's a little cringe.
And to be clear, you think it's immoral for him to not ban all talk of him on the Reddit?
If he's going to ban positive talk or negative,
Yeah.
only within that context is what Benny's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a wild day I'm having. Am I right, boys?
You got a vasectomy.
I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Yeah.
The gas they give you is a bit much for me.
You mind me asking why?
Well, I didn't want my wife to have to keep poisoning herself with birth control. I've read all this shit about how bad it is, and she's doing that, and that's super cool of her. But if she didn't have to, I found out my insurance would cover it. I was like, oh, no brainer. If I can get a one and done thing that's not gonna have long lasting effects on me or just interfere with almost every part of my life, I'll do that. So that way she doesn't have to.
Is it reversible? I heard that there's
I hear
It can be, yeah.
Did you get the reversible one?
So I think so. I think that they technically both can be, but either way, it's not. If I want a kid, it doesn't have to come from me. I don't care. I don't think about shit like that.
Okay.
I can get a donor or I can adopt if I want another kid. I already have a kid.
Adoption is based, by the way.
Yeah, I get it.
It is.
Two of our
It's
dogs
not.
are rescues. We'd be
Hey.
like that. I will.
Okay, so any other criticisms for Steven while you got him? Here?
I probably have a lot, but that would just be me airing my grievances and being cringe. So.
All right.
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to say. I think if I have a minute, it'll come back to me. Sitting down's a bitch. Whew. Yeah. Let me. I'll take this moment to think. Oh, but I will just say, it's probably worth this in the long run. But it's not as nice and easy as they make it out to be. I think it's a little traumatic to get a vasectomy. You have to be awake. You have to be awake.
Oh Jesus!
So
Why?
they gave me laughing gas, and I haven't even smoked weed in like 3 years. And when I looked down, like I could see like the smoke because they cauterize it. I don't know why. I
What
said,
is
"Can't you knock me
happening?
out?" They gave me laughing gas, but it was too much for me, so I'd have to like stop every once in a while. It's like extremely disassociating, and I really don't like not feeling like I'm here. So I'd have to stop every so often, and and it does hurt. They had to give me like extra shots. They don't tell you either. They give you a shot directly into the testicle, and I was like, I'm sorry, I could have known this before today. And also somebody who's supposed to go with me, I had to go by myself. So I was just saying, if you do it, just have all the information. Talk to somebody who's got one. Ask them a lot of questions because they make it sound
Alright.
super quick and easy, and it's not exactly like that.
I was addressed something inside of my chat, so I want a quick yes no and just make it brief, no explanation here. Really.
Okay.
All right. Benny or Elder, are either one of you a VIP in Anna's chat?
No.
No.
Okay.
But I've been in Anna's chat. I've talked to her a bit.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You said no. My bad.
Yeah.
How do you become a VIP?
Oh, they VIP you.
Oh,
I have a bunch of VIPs in my chat.
I guess let me put it this way: if I am, I'm unaware of it.
Okay.
I've never even been there.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
If somebody's seen me as a VIP, then like I'd take their word for it. But I didn't know about it. It would have happened since that I was last there. Probably because I'm so fucking cool.
I hope Destiny's chat can hear me on this one.
They can.
Okay. DGG World is a liar. Scumbag.
Damn.
Oh, this is a person.
Yes.
Okay.
DGG World.
What you
I thought.
munching on? Hello?
Oh,
Huh? What's that?
What you munching on?
Oh, Cheez-Its, bro.
Benny, why you go so hard on the
Disgusting.
vegans? By the way, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Why'd
was
I
gonna
go so
say.
hard on the vegans?
Yeah,
What was I saying about vegans?
Your hypothetical had Destiny banning all vegans. You're making me nervous over here.
Are you a
Vegan-
vegan?
Yeah, I
Vegans are
talked to
cringe.
Mr. Girl about it. Cause he
Vegans
has.
are cringe.
Okay, well, that you can feel that way. Mr. Girl
I
has
do.
a lot of like super crazy vegans in his chat. They say like some of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life, and they've talked to him about it. So I had to go and give him a rational human beings version of why this is the way that it is.
No, I don't have. Honestly, I don't have a problem with vegan. I don't care. It's fine.
Based, Benny.
Though, you know, actually, the only problem I have with vegans is they won't just eat fruit and vegetables. They gotta cut up a mushroom and say it's barbecue chicken. They gotta mold bread like God into fucking steaks. It's embarrassing. Just eat fruits and vegetables.
I
Alright?
eat a lot of fake. I eat a lot of
It's
fake chicken.
embarrassing. That's what I'm saying, man.
Well,
Then
you know
you're
what?
a funny guy.
I grew up eating a bunch of shit that I think is deplorable to eat, but I still like the taste. I just don't like the suffering. Okay, so I'm still
You
gonna
know,
keep the
okay,
taste.
that's fine. You know, you're an older gentleman. You're like 50 years old, so it's okay for
Christ.
you to do that. But like, you know, if you're like a young
How
person
old are
being a
you?
vegan, he's
I'm,
elder.
I'm 34. I just turned 34.
yeah,
like
but I'm
10
24,
days
so
ago. Yeah, I get it. Well,
Wait, Benny, how old are you?
he says he's 24.
24.
Hey.
You're just a little
I'm
younger
last-
than my
I'm
wife,
last
buddy.
age.
Chill.
Wait, nigga, really?
Yeah,
All right.
I told you I'm cool. Okay. I'm a fat, goofy-looking guy, but I got a very pretty 26-year-old albino wife. Okay, I'm cool.
Albino.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, like she's just like pale.
I mean, like her eyelashes are white, her hair is naturally white. She pale as fuck.
My son is dating a
That's-
Targaryen.
Yes, yeah. Believe me, I say a bunch of very weird sexual jokes at her when we watch House of Dragons, and it's fun.
Benny, you're a funny guy.
That was me. That was Elder.
No, I'm talking about the Targaryen shit, my nigga.
I said that.
Wait, was it? No, I thought he said it first.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I said, man.
okay.
Trying to steal my clout.
Yeah.
My bad. I look, man. Said I'm at like 60% here. Okay, you gotta work with me a little bit.
I'm at 5% fuel. I'm up too late. I want to ask Destiny just a couple of questions when he comes back about the whole Mr. Girl situation. I wanted to let you guys kind of talk some shit out. I felt like there was moments like where some things weren't expanded upon. That's why I asked only a few the questions that I did.
I thought it was really good to get a clear and solid answer. I'm really, really happy that we got that. Which is like like broadly that everybody got that.
Aren't Destiny and Mr. Go gonna talk though, like later about?
Yeah,
this
but they've
shit?
been talking about this shit, and I still didn't have the answer that I got.
I agree.
Wait, what was the question that you had?
Me?
No.
Oh, I got a clear and concise answer from Destiny as to why what is happening is happening. Because they're both so emotional that they don't ever sit down and fucking say the rational thing that everybody wants to fucking know. Just like when I talked to Destiny last time, nobody fucking knew why the fuck he wouldn't talk about the Dr. K thing. I had to ask him that like 6 fucking months after it happened. Everybody gets in front of him and they say a bunch of crazy ass shit instead of the obvious rational question that everybody has, but they don't ever want to fucking say it. It's crazy. People get on fucking stream and their brains go out their fucking ears.
I have to address what somebody's saying in your chat right now. Irrelevant. The Trib one. He said, it didn't seem like anyone realized that Benny's reason for thinking Max is arrogant is that Max said he was, not that Benny thinks he is. I do think that Max is arrogant. I said that the reason why I know that he's arrogant is because he said so himself.
Yeah, nigga.
You said that.
I think that shit was cringe when you said that like Destiny and Max were comparable on whether or not they were arrogant, and Max literally says out loud, "I think I'm right on everything," and you're like, "Well, I don't know."
Everybody thinks they're right about everything.
Destiny,
Come on.
You think Destiny would say that? Okay.
Well, I think that if everybody's honest, everybody always thinks they're right about everything they say. Otherwise, they wouldn't fucking say it.
That's not true.
I think I'm right. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. So I'm going to defend that I'm right.
Being arrogant is when you say, I know I'm right, and you're not going to change my mind, or I'm going to ban you, or I'm going to start screaming, or I'm going to mute you, or I'm going to play the piano while you're talking. Like, these are signs that show that somebody is actually arrogant. Also, when your best
I think it's fair and valid. I was just the reason why I was saying what I did is because it didn't work to your point at all. Like it's not a I don't know.
They got off the rails pretty hard overall. Like I just think that things were gonna get said.
Okay, really? Fuck you, I was wrong. He's VIP in Discord. Who? Drop logs right now. Proof. Immediately.
I'm VIP?
I think they're talking about Benny.
Oh.
No. I have never, ever interacted with
GGG World, link it.
Link it if you want. I've never interacted with their content. It's like, why would I want to watch
We're about to find out.
Shit? Except for Max. I want to watch.
What are we about to find out?
Huh? Don't worry.
The status of one of the individuals inside of this call right now.
Wait, what happened? Wait, say that again.
We're just. I want to. Okay, we're gonna.
This. I think it would be best if this got resolved in DMs. We shouldn't talk about this anymore.
Wait, talk about what? What did I just miss?
I'm damning you something.
I'm just trying to be a helpful guy, okay?
God damn, I'm typing slow.
Oh.
See, I was just trying to be helpful.
Right?
Or
Give me a sec. I'm about to find that out. Wait, you already know?
I don't watch women's content, so it can't be me.
Christ.
I see. Yeah. Well, that's
right. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
I know. I am. I know everything. People think I don't, but I do. I do be knowing some things.
How do you? Okay, all right, bro. You on your shit?
Yeah, I am.
Can confirm that I'm not.
Wait, what?
Just to follow up on what they were saying, because I was asked a question. I was just clarifying it.
Wait, are you sure though?
Yeah, I just checked.
Okay, so
because it wouldn't be up to me.
Hold on. No, it's not. It wasn't on.
Yeah.
On stream. No, hold up. I'm gonna DM you.
Bruv. Bruv alert.
Wait,
Careful.
wait, this is gonna be weird.
Wait. Are you DMing Grazzy?
This is so cringe, dude. No, I'll leave Steven to say whatever he wants about whatever.
I'm just chilling, bro.
All right, sweet. Okay, Destiny, I wanted to ask you some questions about because I think it was over. I think what is it? Mr. Girl had an issue with you about possibly removing a Nick Fuentes post or something.
It was the one where he said that you're not open to criticism about because it got pulled down and it got a bunch of upvotes,
Right,
and it
right.
agreed with Mr. Girl, and
Yeah,
that whole
what
thing
is that?
happened.
What is that?
Hold on. I think I'm about to sneeze.
Dude, it's good for
Okay,
you.
sorry. I think that was one that I got super triggered because I think the Automod took it down, and he was saying that like it got. I think the Automod took it down twice, and he was saying that he was getting censored by the mods. Is that
Well,
is that the Automod one?
No, it
or-
was Well, I don't know, but he was saying that criticism of you is not tolerated in your Discord. It was like the first of like the
in my
trilogy
Discord
of the
or subreddit.
subreddit. I'm sorry, I keep calling it Discord. Yeah, subreddit. He was saying that you don't allow criticism of you, and as proof of that, this post that got like 500 upvotes that said that you were being bad faith in it, and you said like, well, if somebody's accusing me of being bad faith, you didn't say anything about an auto mod. You just defended why it got pulled down. This isn't like
Oh, if it's something, if I defended why I got pulled down, then it probably got actually pulled down.
yeah. And I'm
I
not
probably-
giving a position here. I'm just trying to help clarify which thing you were talking about.
Okay.
I have a position. I was just not. That's not what I'm here for.
I would have to see the post. I don't remember. But generally, when people are saying things like "I'm bad faith," I usually do ban those types of people. Yeah,
That is what you said.
yeah, that makes
So
sense.
you are consistent.
Based.
All right, Destiny. Do you think that I think it was over Nick Fuentes as well. Do you think that you hold any measure of responsibility for any kind of increased popularity or anything like that Nick Fuentes might have received? I know that Max liked to point at the no jumper thing. Do you take any responsibilities, or do you think there's any accountability on you for that interaction at all? Or
Yeah,
what do
probably
you
a little
think?
bit. Yeah, I imagine he's probably going to become through any amount of talking with me, he's going to become a bit more popular, right?
No, it can't be a little bit. It's a lot of bit.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's a lot of it, but any amount, yeah, sure.
You gave Adam's phone number to Nick Fuentes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot. That's not a little.
How is it a lot? Where is he getting his subs at? Where is he growing at now?
Wait,
Is his
you
YouTube
gave-
sub growing? Is his Twitter
you gave
sub
him
going? Is it-
a direct line of communication to Adam22, and that's probably how he got on the podcast.
Yeah, but it's not like he's growing a ton off of that. I don't think he has the opportunity to. I think he's banned from too many platforms to grow that much.
Well, I thought the question was about your level of involvement in him getting on that podcast.
That wasn't the question at all.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It was about growth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It was
about
about whether or not he's going to realistically grow from stuff like that.
Yeah, but I imagine he should be growing at least a little if he's associating with me. Our streams are getting like 14,000 viewers, of course.
I have
How do you
like
feel about that?
Man,
I feel fine. He's going to get a little bit bigger, obviously, if I'm platforming him at all. That's going to, of course, happen, yeah.
if I may, I have like one thing to say, and I think I really just need to stop. I'm in a ton of pain here.
What happened?
I got a vasectomy today.
They
Oh,
literally
God.
got a vasectomy like an hour earlier than coming in to talk to me about this.
Is it really actually painful?
So let me say this. They make it sound like it's like really not a big deal. You're in and out in a half hours, like an hour.
Yeah,
It's
that's what they
traumatic.
make it sound like.
It's
Oh,
traumatic. I was awake the whole time. They gave me laughing gas, but like, don't get me wrong. I've done a bunch of psychedelics when I was younger. I stopped
Wait,
smoking
wait.
weed like 3 years ago. The
They
laughing
gave you-
gas.
Yeah, they gave you laughing gas.
Yeah.
General anesthetic, isn't that supposed to completely knock you out?
I was told that I would not be knocked out, and I had to pay out of pocket for the laughing gas. And it is extremely uncomfortable. It's if you breathe it for so long, you like totally start disassociating, and that freaked me out. So I had to stop using it. Like, and I had to use it intermittently. They give you a shot directly into your testicles, for one, which is awful. It does hurt. I had to get extra shots. And you can see like the little puffs of smoke when they cauterize. Yeah, I think it was a little traumatic.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was so like, which is fine, but they should have fucking told me all that shit before the day of. So I could have mentally prepared myself for it. It was a lot to take in and have happen, kind of on the fly. But anyways, I just wanted to say one thing before I
Speak your truth,
left.
King. Go ahead.
Thanks. And it's only since I got here. I'm pretty happy with the Mr. Girl stuff, at least in my current state. There was something I realized on Sunday. I think there was like everybody in the fucking world talked to you, and it changed the tone in how I talked to I talked to Lav on Monday, and it changed the tone in which I talked to her because I had this like pretty big realization. I think that when something happens, when people are talking to somebody, it seems like a lot of times they're like super under the gun, and a lot of people are yelling. If a lot of people are talking about stuff, I don't know if we can really count what they say. Because I was watching that and I just thought, like, I don't know if I could get a coherent thought out that I would stand by ever in that situation. And it seems like a lot of the discourse when things are like really interesting, that's what happens. And I guess I'm starting to get worried about when I see some streams that if this happens, like, I just basically have to go, okay, nothing means anything, because if somebody's drowning like this, I don't know if I could hold them accountable for anything that they say. Because like, fuck, I don't know how you can get your thoughts out. Now, like somebody like you're fucking born in this shit. Like I know that you can do that like super well, but I think it's a very, very, very rare skill that when people are getting interrupted and people are shouting at them and all that, it's just like all these guns pointed at your head, and you're gonna be like trying to say something that's gonna make people not yell at you as much. It's just gonna trigger a big self-defense thing. So like maybe you disagree.
No, I think I probably agree.
Okay. Yeah, I really hope that when we have these discourses that like it's a little bit better. And like even like with Stardust and Cherry, it was very much like there's no way when people were like trying to challenge and like catch them and everything. I will never know what they actually think about the situation with Mr. Girl and accusing him, because it was very much like that for both of them too. And I'm a huge Mr. Girl fan. It's not like I'm on their side, but like fuck, I just don't know what they thought about it, because there was just a bunch of guns pointing at their head the whole time.
Okay. Well.
And also, if I tried to reach out to you a little while ago to talk about Max being banned and stuff just for my video. If you ever get a chance, I'd really like to. I know you're super busy, and I don't want to message you like 15 times or anything. I'd really like to have that conversation, because like so much has changed, and you've been instrumental in all of it.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, I just mean as far as like you've been a centerpiece of like how all these things like people talk about them and view them, and like you're just a big part of the whole Mr. Girl thing. If you ever get a chance, I would love to discuss some of the newer things, so that way I can really start putting a wrap on my video.
Okay. Damn,
it was
putting a wrap on it. Maybe he'll get unbanned from things. Do you want to wrap it now?
It's so hard. Things keep happening, and I don't know how my narrative's supposed to end here. It's tough. It's got to end sometime. So I think in the next like month, I gotta say, like, all right, this is where we're ending it. If I need to amend it right before it comes out, I will. But like, holy shit, the things move way too fast here. I'll never get the whole scope, but
you should wait until Destiny. You should wait till Elder Drazi's video is like done, and then you should just permanently ban Mr. Girl. So that way, there's a really big piece of information that's missing out of it. I think that'd be very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be very, very funny.